The 200-meter dash in Australia just took place, and we witnessed the fakest shit in history.
Yeah, boys, just live from SOPAC. That wind was definitely legal.
But it made me wonder, Lachlan Kennedy is the best 200-meter runner in Australia. Gout Gout ran a fake 19.6. Lachlan Kennedy would have beat him. What time, fake ass time, would they have gave Lachlan Kennedy? Kenny Bennett, Justin Gatlin, Tyson Gate, Walter Dix. These are real 19.5s. And if Kennedy would have showed up today, his name would have been in history with these names. Now, it wasn't supposed to be, because these guys will never see these times ever again. You had guys legit who's damn near never broke 21 seconds in their life, running 20 low, damn near running 19 seconds. And everybody in the race ran damn near half a second faster than they've ran ever. These guys run again, and you see that they're back running, and they look very pedestrian and very regular. Like, it's gonna be so funny, like, because everybody's gonna call me a hater now. That's how I usually go.
This is like the first time that I'm going to make a track expose video, and there's like multiple people calling it out before I even make mine. So this is great. But either way, I just I'd always like to add that this is a quick Google search, but obviously Google is just run by AI now, so you can't really trust that. Best thing you could do is just like ask any track runner, just ask them what the best lane is on the track. But AI gives you a semi-decent answer. Obviously, this is not the best, but I think we see that, like, right down here, lane 6 through 8, often favored for a combination of good physics and the ability to see competitors. I just think it's very interesting that every single time that we get a fast time in track and field, the person happens to be running in lane 6 through 8. It's almost never that we see somebody win out of lane 1 through 3. And it's just, obviously Gout Gout was expected to win this race, and if he has the fastest seed time, he does get the preferred lane. That's a known thing in track and field. All right, we're gonna just watch a specific part of the video. I do think it's pretty sad that Jumpman has like lost the plot. He used to be like a really good source for running information and just like decent like running documentaries, if I recall correctly, but now he just like praises every single time that comes up and just like glazes every athlete because that's the trendy thing to do and that's what gets views, and if you glaze them then they like you more, and yeah, it's just all stupid. Anyway, we're just gonna watch a little part of his video, but first we have to watch him glaze the fucking fake times real quick.
Illegally. The first time in his career, and by such a make-believe margin, I almost can't believe it.
This morning, incredible! 19.68.
This is one of the most baffling races and times I've ever seen watching the sport.
To be fair, I've only watched 3 minutes of this video. It seems like you might be doing a little investigation at the end, so let me finish this before I tell you what I think of this fucking video. Hold up, give me a sec. And I do have to say, it is upsetting because now we're getting all these videos, like everybody calling them out and saying that these times are fake, but nobody's like saying that the problem is with the organizations. Like they're really just calling out the athletes at this point, and that's not what this is about. Like, bro, we want people competing in the sport. We just don't want fucking sponsorship deals and like brands and fucking money corrupting the thing so that certain people are favored. That's what we don't want. Anyway, hold up.
Should have immediately started ringing alarm bells. Then he ran sick. Ran and lost to Kennedy in the cold and the rain to some times that didn't look great in a headline, which gave those doubters some ammunition. But if he had been paying attention to the details, a breakout run was brewing, and I believed it every single one of his races this season. But I would 100% be lying to you if I said I thought it was gonna be this fast. Truthfully, if I were to imagine a race where Gout Gout runs 19.6 against a field of Australians, I would have expected more domination. Aidan Murphy was in serious contention for 120 metres, And I haven't outright said it yet, but congrats to him. 1988 is well below the old Aussie record and even Gout's 20.02. 8 runners, 7 ran massive personal bests. Counting every athlete in this field, it's an across-the-board average PR drop of 0.2 seconds, which is so silly in itself, but it gets even worse when you only count the 7 athletes that increase that high across the board in a race this short, even in Texas.
You'd be hard-pressed to find...
Alright, so let's just cut him off there because this is just like... He just lies. Like, people like this, because they perpetuate all of the fake narrative bullshit, they're forced to just feed more nonsense when we're addressed with obvious, suspicious times in the sport. So, yes, maybe he's being truthful when he says that we haven't seen 7 people PR by 0.3 on average in one of these races, but we have to consider that these are high school races and these heats are snaked, so they have slower runners running with the fast runners. Whether or not that's good or not, I think snaking the heats can be good because you get the runners that don't have as fast of PRs, they get to run with the people who have faster PRs, and maybe they end up running a faster time, you know? But regardless, yeah, so you wouldn't get a heat that has 7 runners running faster on average because some of the runners in a high school meet or even a college meet would be like newer. Like they might be their first time running track. This might be their first season. So yes, some of them are not going to have a faster PR on average. But the fact that like 2, 3, or 4 of them end up having such a faster PR, we don't think that's suspicious? Like, bro, this guy will just feed you fucking bullshit because he believes in half of it. But when all of it's nonsense, because he believes in 50%, he's like, bro, trust me. This is just fucking retarded, bro. My bad. Let's continue this.
Used in the past, I don't think there's some sinister plan by Australian athletics to boost times like Aaron Brown would believe. This is the time he ran. It's official, it's now his PR. I've just previously called out times I was skeptical about in the past, and usually I'm not far off the mark. Whether that opinion is well received or not is another story.
Okay, so what he's saying is that if somebody else says it's suspicious, then they're wrong, but when he says it's suspicious, he's basically right. What? Dude, what the fuck, man? What is going on here? Alright. Let me give you guys some insight from somebody who actually has experience, because Aaron Brown has experience, but he has probably multiple contracts that he signed that says he cannot speak about all of these things going on. That's why his videos are usually pointed at other athletes and they're very vague, despite having his own track season typically going on while he's making videos. I've said this a million times, but, you know, if you haven't seen my videos, I have to say it again. I went to a track meet hosted by USA Track and Field with FAT timing, and they literally told us it didn't matter what line we started from because nobody was going to set a record. However, they definitely knew that one of the athletes there was extremely talented because he had set very, very good marks all throughout the season prior because he was a well-known high school athlete. I'm not going to call him out specifically because this is the problem. It's not the athlete's fault. And this is why we need to stop. Like, this guy's video, I understand why he, like, said, oh, yeah, this is Gout's new PR. Like, no. Gout won the heat, all right? Regardless if I say that he had the preferred lane, because he did, if they ran that race again and you put Gout in a different lane, he probably takes it. If you put him in lane 1, I don't think he wins. And that's why I make that point in all of my videos to say, and yes, I do think either way, like, somebody is going to want to run in lane 1. If there's 6 good athletes, maybe even the best athletes at the fucking event, and you want to compete with them, and the only lane left is lane 1, I'm sure a lot of athletes would gladly take it. And I'm one of those people, you know, I don't give a fuck, you know, despite you're going to have a disadvantage, you're probably not going to win. You're definitely not going to win from lane 1. But at least you get the opportunity to run with some fast people. You probably won't be even in the race. Like, you're not going to make up the stagger. It's extremely awkward, especially indoors, running on the inner lanes, and like everybody can tell you this, and that's the reason why I say if you want to compare times with people, then you should just either go to the track yourself and run it, and then you're gonna see how really fucking fake all these times are. But if they really wanted to have a decent system, they would just let people run twice. If you ran the event and you thought that you could run faster, they would just let you run again, and everybody would get at least 2 tries. And yes, the reason the reason that we don't do this is because it would take too much time. But if some people wanted to do it, they should give them the opportunity. I mean, you have to pay to get into all these events anyway. Like, why not just have an opportunity? Like, let him pay more and fucking let him run again, dude. I don't know. It's all stupid. Like, we could make this shit make sense and make it fair instead of just, like, calling people out and, like, pointing fucking fingers. But instead, like, it's just more fun to, like, say, oh, yeah, look, the wind is fake. And, like, bro, that we know that this shit can be fucking bullshitted. I just told you guys, they don't care what line you start from. So if you start from a line that's a little bit closer to the fucking finish line, whether or not because there's like a different line on the track for a certain event, whether it's like the hurdles, the 400, whatever the fuck, if they let you start from the wrong line and you end up getting like a 20-meter gap, like head start on anybody else in the record book, then yes, you're gonna run a good time. Like what? I don't get why I have to even explain this shit, man. We all go look up the old, and it's not alright. And sometimes I feel bad. I probably made videos calling these people out too, but like, dude, they're just old people. Like, some of them probably are corrupt and they're like working with USATF to corrupt the shit, but a lot of them are probably just old people who like track. Like, and everybody hates the officials, bro. It's fucking, this sport is fucked.
My best theory is a swirling wind created some magic for us. As it goes, by the official rules, the 200 meter measures wind only on the home stretch, so whatever happens on the bend stays in the bend. And all day, a reasonable amount of wind had been swirling, and the evidence was clear. Some of the 200 meter semifinals were run into hefty negative swirling wind at the bend pushing them, and then a tailwind, hefty tailwinds. So by the luck of the gods, my theory of course, they got a swirling wind at the bend pushing them, and then a tailwind pulling them down the home straight. And you get freakish PRs. And this wouldn't be the first scenario of
I just don't like that we just chalk. Like, guys, this is somebody, and, you know, at the same time, this is why we can't throw shade at the athletes, dude. Gout Gout is obviously very talented, and I hate that his name, look, like, dude, we need a nickname for this guy, bro, because, like, Gout Gout is, like, we all know that gout is, like, a sickness here. Like, dude, I just feel weird calling him Gout Gout. I don't know. We need a nickname for this guy. Anyway. Oh, bro. We know Gout Gout is extremely talented. He's run, not that I believe all of the times that he's run are legit. It's just every single time he goes to the 200, it's nearly a 19-second clocking. Whether or not I believe he's running outright 200 meters, because I will say though, like, all right. So I paused it to argue the fact that he was saying like, oh yeah, dude, they just got super lucky and they just got like a really good win, and that's why. And I don't like that because every single time that Gout Gout runs in a certain field, like they all happen to run super fast and they all just get super lucky, really good wins. I don't like that we just chalk all of this up to coincidence. Is it just like every time I run, I get a fucking I get like a headwind, dude. Like you can look at my results. Every single time I run outdoors, I get a freaking negative win. I don't get a tailwind. I don't get wind pushing me. So what? I just get really unlucky? I think it's more likely, and I've said it in my videos, that the officials, when they're looking for certain people to run certain times, they're also waiting for a good wind. Like that's not unheard of. And you can even you can ask like in soccer, we would want the wind at our back sometimes because obviously you kick the ball, it goes fucking further. So like all athletes and like I'm sure football players account for this too. Anybody who's playing a sport is accounting for the wind. So it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that the officials are most likely waiting for the best opportunity. But I don't like saying that either, because the wind, yes, the wind helps, but it doesn't make that big of a difference. We've seen people run into a headwind and run similar times as well. It's not like the wind makes you like extremely. I'd argue what happens with the wind is it makes it easier, but it doesn't unless you get like an extremely illegal wind, which I'm sure like because you can get picked up and swept away by a strong enough wind. So like if it was like super illegal, yeah, you'd get like a nice boost, but typically you're not going to get like an acceleration boost from the fucking wind. Anyway, sorry to go on such a long tangent about that. It's just I don't like that we always chalk it up to like, oh yeah, bro, he was just super lucky. All right, also I was getting to it there and then I got sidetracked. The first time I watched this race, I immediately said to myself like, wow, they are starting way back on the curve. Like typically when you see a really fast FAT, like oh, new world record, you'll notice that like and dude, I hate to call out, it's not the athlete's fault, but it's like certain tracks, you can see that they're getting like a huge advantage on the curve. But Gout Gout looks like he had to run a solid 100 meters on the curve. Like that was a fucking, and I won't say that I don't think maybe the track is like possibly a little bit smaller so that people can run records. But what I am saying is that they started way back. Typically, when I'm watching races like this, I'm skeptical from the beginning because I'm like, bro, why are they starting from all the way up there? But, dude, it looked like a legitimate fucking 200 meters. I don't think the wind can create that much of a difference. I will say the reason I make these videos calling people out is, or mostly calling out the organization, is because what I said from the beginning, he got the preferred lane and he ran the best. I just think it's upsetting because, yes, when you run the best seed time, maybe you should even get to pick your lane, but it just seems like when the races seem to go, and like I've broken it down before, you can have like a full meet where like lane 6 wins like every single time. And you could chalk that up to like, oh yeah, they put the fastest person in lane 6. But at the same time, wouldn't you want to run in lane 6 if the person in lane 6 always wins? Like, dude, I don't know. It's just. And also, honestly, after I'm done with this video, I'm not going to be concerned about this for the rest of the day. I just wanted to add some input into this. Like, it's not worth worrying about. What I always say to people is just run your race, dude. Run your heat. The 100 meters, you don't start staggered, so there's no bullshit, there's no nonsense. The only nonsense that can happen in 100 meters is a false start. And sadly, officials sometimes don't catch a false start, so the best thing you can do on 100 is just get a really good start. That's the only thing you can do to make it fair. You get a good start, and sadly, if you start on the outside on 100 meters, it is a little bit more difficult to stay in the race. I won't argue that. But if you run enough hundreds, at some point you're going to run on the inside of the track, and you're going to get a good opportunity to run fast. So, like, just run your race, do what you got to do. It's not about the time at the end of the day. It's about competing, having fun, and getting better. It's not about some fucking number on a clock. That has nothing to do with that shouldn't change your enjoyment of the sport, what the clock says. You should just feel yourself getting healthier every season.
But in his semi-final looked pretty topped out. It clearly wasn't a 100% run. He could have gave more off the curve, but he ran hard and through the line in 20.11 seconds, only a couple hours before the final. Where does he find half a second from this race? And looking at his race from the other week in Melbourne, where he lost to Kennedy in the cold and the rain to this extent? So in saying
I didn't realize I was muted. I do think it's funny that he puts this other race on the screen, and it just also perpetuates what I was saying. So yeah, lane 5 and 6 are in the race. Everybody else is out of it. However, imagine if you started in lane 1 or 2 in this race. Would you tell yourself that you're gonna catch up and win? And the best thing you can do as an athlete is just ignore it and try your best, and hopefully everybody else doesn't have their best day and you have your best day and you do end up catching them. But I'm look, you know, sadly, ignorance is bliss. I've been cursed with some intelligence, so every single time that I line up on the track, I look at what lane I'm in at this point, and like if I'm in lane 1, I'm not gonna stress about not finishing first on the curve, and honestly, I'm not gonna hurt myself to catch up to people at this point. Like when you're younger, man, it's not that big a deal, and honestly, I wouldn't even say it like that because you shouldn't be pushing yourself too hard at that age either. Like you're just like begging for an injury. I don't know. Whatever, dude. What do I know?
And as an added extra, the most egregious PR of the bunch was Aidan Murphy in second, 20.42 seconds to 19.88, who I'm sure many will use as fuel to downplay all these times out of him this year. Bend and the conditions do him good, but holy smoke, we got some of that Gout Gout magic with legal wind. All things considered, Gout continues to show us why he has the entire world watching him. And as an added extra,
Alright. Dude, I think this top-down perspective gives us like a really good view of exactly what I was just saying. It's like, dude, lane 1 hasn't even fucking finished yet. Lane 3, the lane 2 might have died. Like lane 2 probably passed away. Like where did lane 2 go? Hold up. We have to go back to where did lane 2 go? Is there nobody in lane 2? They were like, we're not gonna put somebody in lane 2. No, they probably just quit. They were like, this is not even possible.
Conditions do him good. But
I feel so
holy
bad,
smoke,
dude.
we got some of that
It sucks to
Gout
be
Gout
in those
magic with
inside
legal
lanes,
wind.
dude.
All things considered, Gout
No,
continues to
he's gone, bro.
us why
Where
he
is lane 2?
has the entire world watching.
Lane 2 quit. Hold up, I gotta rewatch this race now. Where did lane 2 go? Alright, the video's over, bro. I'm out of here. There's nobody in lane 2.